Huawei just built a car, and the most uncomfortable part is that it is not just good. It is that no American brand can match what is inside it. Not Tesla, not Ford, not General Motors. A phone company that America tried to wipe off the map turned around and built a machine that does things Detroit cannot do at any price. By the end of this, you will understand exactly what this car pulls off that no American car can touch, why a telecom company was the one to do it, and why the same people who laughed at Huawei are now taking it apart in a lab, trying to figure out how it is even possible. Stay with me, because the reason it can do all this is the part nobody saw coming. Let us start with the thing that should not exist. This car drives itself through chaos that would freeze a Tesla, city streets with no lane markings, a scooter cutting across 3 lanes, a construction worker waving traffic through by hand, roads it has never seen with no detailed map to lean on, and it handles all of it calmly without a human touching the wheel. Now here is the translation, because that sentence is easy to skip past. Most self-driving systems are basically memorizing roads. Take them somewhere new and messy, and they panic. Huawei's car does not memorize. It sees and decides in real time, the way you do. So the dark side street with no lines, the one that makes the safety features of your current car give up, is exactly where this one keeps going. And it does not just survive the chaos. It learns from it. Every awkward intersection, every strange obstacle, feeds back and makes the whole fleet a little sharper. The car you own a year from now will drive better than the one you bought, without you lifting a finger. And the reason it can see is the first thing no American brand will copy easily. Tesla bet everything on cameras. Just cameras. The same kind of eye you have, which means the same blindness you have. A camera struggles in heavy rain, in glare, in the dark, in fog. Huawei refused to make that bet. It loaded the car with laser sensors that map the world in 3 dimensions, that don't care if it's pitch black, that measure the exact distance to the child stepping off the curb before your eyes would even register the shape. Let me put that in plain terms. On a rainy night, the camera car sees a blur and hopes. This car sees a person, knows precisely how far away they are, and brakes before you finish the thought. That difference isn't a feature. It's the line between a close call and a funeral. Then there's the trick that makes people pull out their phones and start filming. You arrive at a packed parking garage. You don't circle for 10 minutes. You stop, you get out, and you walk away. The car parks itself, finds the space, threads it in, shuts itself down. And when you come back loaded with shopping bags and a screaming toddler, you tap your phone and the car drives itself out to meet you at the door. Think about how many hours of your life you've lost crawling through garages looking for a gap. This car just deletes that entire experience. It sounds like a gimmick until the first rainy day you don't have to walk across a wet lot, and then it quietly becomes the feature you can't live without. But the deepest advantage isn't any single trick. It's that this car was built by a company that already lives inside your pocket. Huawei makes phones, watches, tablets, and the software that ties them together for hundreds of millions of people. So when you sit inside this car, it isn't a cold machine you have to learn. It already knows you. Your music keeps playing from where your phone left off. Your messages, your calendar. Your navigation flow in without a single setup screen. Your watch unlocks the door. The car becomes another room in a digital home you already live in. Now compare that to the American experience. You climb into a luxury car and fight a clunky screen, plug in a cable, wait for it to think. And half the buttons still don't talk to your phone. Huawei skipped all of that because it has spent 20 years learning how to make devices feel like one thing. Detroit has spent those same years learning how to build engines. Guess which skill matters more in a car that's really a computer on wheels? I went in ready to roll my eyes at yet another tech company playing car maker. I came out unable to explain why my own car still can't do the basic things this one treats as obvious. And it isn't just smart, it is physically capable in ways that feel like science fiction. The system Huawei built to drive the wheels charges so fast that a few minutes plugged in buys you hundreds of kilometers of range. Translate that. The coffee break is the charge. You stop, you stretch your legs, and before you have finished the cup, the car is ready to cross half a country. No overnight planning, no anxiety, no sitting in a charging lot watching a slow bar crawl upward. And some of these cars can do something no normal car can. With 4 wheels working independently, they can spin almost in place, rotating out of a tight spot instead of grinding back and forth a dozen times. You have felt the panic of a parking space that is just slightly too small, the sweat of inching out while a line of cars waits behind you. This car simply turns and leaves. What looks like a party trick is really the same deep advantage showing through. When one company controls the motors, the software, and the brain at once, it can make the machine do things a patchwork of suppliers could never agree on. And here is the part that should genuinely unsettle anyone rooting for the home team. The reason Huawei can do all of this is the same reason America tried to destroy it. A few years ago, the United States hit Huawei with some of the harshest restrictions ever placed on a single company. Cut it off from American chips. Cut it off from the software the whole world runs on. The plan was simple: starve it until it collapsed. Instead, the opposite happened. Locked out of everyone else's technology, Huawei was forced to build its own chips, its own operating system, its own everything. So now, while every American car maker rents its critical technology from a patchwork of outside suppliers, Huawei owns the entire chain, top to bottom. The brain, the eyes, the software, the network it talks to. I'll be honest, there's a brutal irony here that's hard to look away from. The attempt to end Huawei is the exact thing that turned it into the only company on Earth that controls every layer of a smart car at once. They tried to break it. They forged it instead. Because that is the thing no American brand can match. And it has nothing to do with one clever feature. Tesla writes great software, but buys its way through hardware bottlenecks. Ford and General Motors build solid cars, but lean on Silicon Valley and Asia for the digital soul. Not one of them makes the chip, the sensor, the operating system, and runs the telecom network all under the same roof. Huawei does. It is the difference between a band of session musicians who met that morning and a group that has played together for 20 years. Both can make noise. Only one moves as a single living thing. When the chip, the software, and the sensors are designed by the same people to work together, the car reacts faster, learns quicker, and improves overnight in ways a stitched-together system simply cannot. And before anyone dismisses this as a tech demo nobody actually buys, look at the numbers. Huawei's flagship car, loaded with all of this, didn't just sell. It outsold the established luxury giants in its class, in its home market, again and again. Buyers walked past the German badges their parents worshipped and chose the phone company instead. Let that land for a second. People with the money to buy any car in the world looked at the most respected names in the business and decided the telecom company knew better. That is not a fluke. That is a verdict. And it's a verdict being delivered in the largest car market on the planet, the one every Western brand desperately needs to survive. So step back and feel the full weight of it. A company America tried to erase built a car that sees in the dark better than any American rival, that parks and returns on its own, that folds your entire digital life into the cabin without a single cable, and that gets smarter while you sleep, all because it owns every piece of the puzzle. That isn't a better car. It's a different category, built on an advantage that took 20 years and a failed attempt to destroy it to create. Here's the uncomfortable truth, and I'll say it plainly. For decades, the story we told ourselves was simple. China copies. America innovates. That story is over. This car is not a copy of anything. There is nothing in Detroit to copy it from. And the most dangerous part isn't that Huawei is ahead today. It's why it is ahead. The very wall built to keep it out is the wall that forced it to become unstoppable. Every other car maker is now trying to catch a company that was given no choice but to master everything itself. This isn't a far-off threat. These cars are already on the road, already outselling legends, already spreading toward every market that will open its doors. The brands that laughed are no longer laughing. They're scrambling, buying time, hoping the gap is smaller than it looks. It isn't. The real question was never whether Huawei could build a car. It already did, and it is better than they feared. The real question is whether anyone in America can build an answer before the rest of the world stops waiting for one.